Can you hear me now? Yes? No? Nobody's moving. Everybody's frozen.
I hear you.
Okay. Awesome. How are you guys? I'm still a little out of it. Trying to adjust back to the time. It's such a difference. So, other than that, I'm good. I'm gonna wait a few more seconds. Everybody's frozen. Except, well, weird. All right. Okay, guys. So I have lots of information to share with you, but I'm going to keep this, to a max of 30 minutes, and I'm going to leave a little time for questions if you guys have some that I'd be happy to try and answer. So Hawaii was amazing. Too quick though. It's such a long journey from the Midwest to Hawaii, and then the time change is pretty drastic. So just when you're kind of getting used to it, you come back. So next year I'm definitely going to extend it a little bit more. But it was wonderful. So there's a little over 700 jewels in our company right now, and 436 qualified for Hawaii. So as you can tell, there are quite a few jewels who didn't qualify this year for Hawaii. You have to maintain the points of Emerald or above to be able to join everybody in Hawaii. And it used to be you had to maintain it for 6 out of the 12 months, and now it's only 3 out of the 12 months, but they can change that at any time. So you just kind of have to maintain it or try to maintain it. Jessica was wondering about that. Yeah, so if you go Emerald in July, the year like I did, like the year of it doesn't matter. You qualify. But if you go like earlier, you have to have a certain amount of times to qualify. And you have like a 2-month grace period. So I think if you hit it in like May, you're good. June, you're good. So, but anyway, regardless, the whole goal once you rank to any level is to keep it, right? Otherwise, you're not moving your business forward, and it's not, something that's sustainable. So that's something that I thought was super interesting, that only 436 people out of all of those jewels did not, only 436 actually qualified. So it was super intimate, and everybody just hung out at the pools and talked. I met a couple people that I haven't met before. Then we broke off into small sessions, like small groups, and I was in the same group with like Eric Paul and Melissa Eichenhorst, and we just talked a lot about personalities. It was very light. This is not training like convention or things like that. But what they did let us know during that session is they are going to come out with a personality test and training for all of us to move through, which I think is going to be awesome for ourselves and our teams. So that's something to look forward to. We did this exercise where we had to close our eyes and fold this piece of paper how they told us, and then cut it on one end, like tear it on one end, and then everybody held it up, and it was crazy how different they all were, even though we were all given the same directions, right? And that's just kind of indicative of our personalities. And I think what I really got from that group, it was the second day I was there, so I was kind of awake. But the thing that I really got from that group was just that we really need to try to understand where our other teammates are coming from. We obviously have our own personality characteristics, and a lot of times what happens, and I know for me, I'm definitely guilty of this, I think a certain way, and sometimes I think, well, everybody should think that way, or everybody thinks that way, and it's so not true. And so I think cultivating that on your teams and making sure that you are posting things that mesh with every personality, that you're really looking at where the person is coming from. Things can get misconstrued when you're, making posts or texting. So having those conversations and really getting to know your person, what drives them, what freaks them out, those types of things are important as you're working and you're growing your teams. So much more on personalities to come for us, which is awesome. So we had about three or four planned events, all of which were told that they were going to be heavy hors d'oeuvres. And if that's heavy hors d'oeuvres, I don't know what a meal is, because the amounts of food that were available for us was insane. And it was amazing, fresh, tuna and just all this amazing fish. And then they just had so many things. Of course, drinks were free. They went above and beyond every single day. I'm going to try and find, all right, put those, okay. So the first night when we came back to our room, we had lots of gifts, a couple hats, one for a man and one for a woman. Find them. Hopefully I'll find them while I'm talking. But we also had a mini speaker that you can connect to your phone, or actually Bluetooth it, that had Emerald Extravaganza on it. 2 7-packs of Slim, a bag, a backpack, a beach bag. I mean, tons of stuff. And then every night when we got back, and this is what I was going to try and show you, and I put them somewhere safe, apparently too safe because I can't find them. But they were just like a note card, and just kind of saying, I hope you enjoyed your day, and, just little different comments about, why they're so appreciative that we're here. And it was just the little touches like that I thought were so cool. We were treated like royalty, and it's crazy. It's really crazy to experience. But it was awesome. Product info. So at one of our trainings, they talked a little bit about the studies and just kind of the return rate on our previous products versus our new products. And they are down. And I put those slides on Peak Freedom. So it shows that, we've always had a very low return rate, but it's even lower with the new products. And then they did talk about how they're going to continue clinical testing, so that we have more and more studies available for us to utilize for those of us who are green or potentials that are green and really like that information. I have been given access to the new back office, and I have explored it a little bit, not too much, but what I have seen so far is awesome. It's so easy to see everything and to sort everything. It's all very clear and clickable, and I'm super excited. Yes, Jessica, they did, and I was going to share that. So here's the thing. Those of you who were with us during the back office apocalypse of October 2015 know what a horrible mess that was, okay? And our company is doing everything that they can so that doesn't happen again, okay? I know that I personally, if I had to do it again, I would do it again, okay? Because I believe in this company, okay? But I don't want that or wish that on anybody. My life was completely turned upside down. Every day, all day, I worked on calling customer service and getting orders for everybody on my team. It was horrendous. And so the reason that they have not rolled this out is because they want to make sure. And the guy who is responsible for all this, the manager of what is it, not electronics, media, the computer dude. Okay, he was there. Thank you, IT. He was there, and he talked about there was some kind of data that like they have in the system, and it's not a problem right now, but it could be a problem, and so what they want that fixed prior. Okay, so that is one thing that's holding it up. Okay, the other thing that is holding it up, because it looks really, really good outside of that, is all of the jewels getting feedback after they've had access given to them. In case they missed something. There's lots and lots of things on there. One of the things we're trying to do right now that some of the jewels suggested is having the convenience order be an opt-out instead of an opt-in, okay? Because that would maybe increase our convenience order percentages. Also, we all know that if someone's gonna join without a CO on, they shouldn't join anyway. That's not what it means to be an ambassador. And so hopefully that will be something that they will take into account. Of course, they have to keep in line with like the FDC and like regulations and stuff like that. You know, even this month, we've had people join our team and not buy a welcome pack and have 50 PV. It's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why? And so those are the things that we need to duplicate down into our teams and talk to them about, so that we're having at least people who are cool with the 100 PV becoming ambassadors, and all others becoming preferred customers, which we love just the same, right? So that's something to look forward to. You know, they were joking that they said late summer, and they said October was still late summer. You know, I think that we're looking at a month or two from now. I am thankful, and I am way willing to be patient, because I don't want to happen what happened before. Those of you that were not with us, you're lucky. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the people that I met. I think that, oh, actually, one more thing. New Lexus options. For me, okay, I like literally almost jumped through the roof because a Lexus for what they had for Emeralds was not feasible for my family. Lexus is filled with people with families, large families. They now have a 7-passenger Lexus for Emeralds, which makes it something that I could technically get. We're not in the position where we would do that now. I have a lease on a Suburban, so when that's up next September, that's probably what I'm gonna do. And so that's an awesome option. Also, they increased Sapphires. They increased Emeralds allowance for the Lexus as well, but they increased Sapphires above Emeralds, which I thought was really cool, because Sapphire is kind of like the forgotten rank, and it's like, they need something too, and so that's awesome. And then they increased diamonds as well and added a new diamond Lexus. It's a very, very sporty black Lexus that I will never touch until I'm like 60, because I have too many kids, but very nice. So one of the things that's for sure, you know, I met people that had been with Plexus for over 6 years, and this was their first trip to Hawaii. Okay, and I've also met people that had been with Plexus for 9 months, and this was their first trip to Hawaii. Okay, the one thing that's super clear is there was people from all walks of life, from all types of family situations, educational backgrounds, ages. Our oldest diamond, who is 73, was there. She's new to a new diamond. And, you know, our youngest jewel is 19 now. And it's crazy, okay, guys? The only reason that people are there versus not there are because of mindset, excuses, and really just learning what we do, finding more people, being more active, believing in yourself, believing in our company. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight too. But, you know, I just want everyone to understand that no matter where you come from, no matter how old you are, no matter what your background, no matter what your experience, no matter what your life situation, your network, you know, people were there that live in towns of, you know, population, you know, 100. It doesn't matter, okay? It's just another excuse. One of the things that was a highlight for me was hearing Christy Wright speak, and I didn't really know about her prior, but she spoke about money management, which I'm not going to go over tonight, but it was great, but also about balance, okay? She basically came in there and told us to start putting our phones down, okay? Not in the meeting, just in life, okay? What network marketing company hires somebody to come talk to their people about balance and putting their phones away? You know what I mean? What does that say about our company? Yes, Jessica, it is. It's extremely amazing. It's so, so important to maintain some balance with this company. And I'm going to talk about balance because she talked about balance in a way that I've never, ever heard it explained before, and something that I could totally relate to, something that I could do. And I will let you all know that you're going to see some changes in the way that I handle things and in the way that I manage the team, that I lead the team. And in my opinion, I think changes for the better, certainly for my mental health. But I don't want anybody else on my team not having their priorities straight or their balance in check. But when I say balance, I want you to hear what I'm saying, okay? Or what she told us, basically. So hard work works, right? We know that, okay? The people at the top work hard, and you will need to work hard to get to the top. So will I, okay? But balance needs to come into play, and there's a couple of things. You know, we've talked a lot about office hours, and I always say I'm going to put in office hours, I'm going to do these office hours. Well, in the book we're reading, Get Over Your Damn Self, which if you plan to be in Maui and you have not read this book, get it, okay? Get it and read it, and then read it over again. But you know, one of the things that's super important with balance and office hours, instead of having office hours, you need to have hours during your day that you are not going to work, Plexus, okay? Not. Phone away, phone on silent, phone down, okay? And that's something that I haven't done. You always hear work this business in the nooks and crannies. If that works for you, awesome. But what that translates in for me is I'm constantly working my business, and that doesn't work for me, okay? And it doesn't work for my family. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with times, you know, in the morning when I'm trying to get my kids ready and off to school, dinner time, bedtime, times that I am not working my business. I'm not responding to messages. I'm not reaching out. I'm not posting on Facebook. I'm not scrolling on Facebook. I'm not doing anything with my phone. I think it's a great way to start, okay? So that's one. The second thing is saying no more, okay? No to doing things in your life. She talked about balance is not a 50-50. Let me read exactly what she said. Life balance isn't about a 50-50 split, okay? When we think about balance, we think about that, right? It's about being 100% present in the things that you're doing and in the things that you enjoy when you're doing them. Okay, so if you're with your kids playing, you're 100% with your kids. If you're working your business, you're 100% working your business. If you're, you know, volunteering for everything under the sun, I am guilty of that. You need to stop doing that and volunteer only for the things that fill your heart, that are important to you, that are priorities for you. You know, if you're volunteering to, she was talking about how like she's religious, but how she got like, I don't know, somehow volunteered to be a puppeteer, and she was like a rat in like this puppeteer thing at church, and she's like, I don't want to be doing this. You know what I mean? You don't have to volunteer for everything, okay? You cannot do everything. You're one person, right? And if you're telling me, or you're telling yourself that this is something that you want Plexus to work for you, that's obviously going to be a priority, because if it isn't, it's not going to work. But it also needs to have just as much presence from you and wholeness from you during the times you have designated to work it, or it's not going to work, or at least it's going to be frustrating, more frustrating. You're not going to go maybe at the pace you want. You might not hit your goals. Monica posted something today, and I actually watched it on the Denzel Washington video. And it's so important to embrace failure. Those of us who are scared of no's and are scared of falling backwards, get unscared, because it's going to happen to all of us, and it certainly has happened to every single jewel in our company. Nobody went like this to the top, okay? Maybe Celeste Gwynn, but nobody else, right? It's important to understand that it's going to be finding your ability to create that balance where you're present in the things that are important in your life. So what I encourage you to do is sit down and write out the 5 things in your life that are the most important to you, okay? And after you write down those 5 things, if you are not on that list, add yourself, okay? Self-care is so important in life, and I know a lot of us, are into working out or running or writing or whatever it is that fills your cup. Make sure that you're making time for it, okay? Stop doing what doesn't matter. She said that the average person checks their phone 150 times a day. Like, that just made me yeah. 5 hours of TV a day. Protect what matters by setting boundaries and saying no. I tend to overextend myself. That's something that's going to stop. One of the other things, I know I told you it doesn't matter who your upline is or where you are. You can be in Maui. Me saying no to somebody for whatever the thing may be, I need to understand, and you need to understand, that if it doesn't fit into your life, it is not going to stop them from being successful. Anyone can be successful. We have a ton of resources. You do not need somebody to hold your hand. So if you get a message from me redirecting you to somewhere else, a resource, your upline, just know that's because I have to, and we all do, okay? We all need to utilize our resources appropriately and smart, so that we can all focus on the most important thing of our business, which is our business, right? I think that a lot of times as leaders, and some of you may be feeling this already, what happens is we are helping our team and not focusing on our businesses, when that is primarily and foremost will always be number 1, right? The 5-3-2 is a great way to do this, especially those of you who have Maui goals. At a very minimum, you need to be reaching out to 5 new people a day. New. Not nobody that you've talked to before, new people a day. And that should be before you go on Facebook, before you're posting, before you're checking emails, before you're doing anything. The first thing you need to do each day is reach out to 5 new people, okay? Call them, text them, send voice messages. If you're not sure how to do that effectively, there's tons of resources on that available to us. I'm just myself. I tell them exactly why I am messaging them. What about them made me want to message them? That's it. You know what I mean? And I ask if they're open to talking. That's it. I don't make it intense or send attachments or anything like that. And that's all. 3 is reaching out or following up with 3 people. I usually have at least 15 to 20 people to follow up with each day, but that doesn't take me very long because I just kind of go through it. And then 2, connecting with or training 2 of your teammates. If you don't have 2 teammates to train, you need to be training yourself. It's important to be spending 15 to 20 minutes a day on personal development and growth, whether that's reading a book, a personal development book, whether that means listening to a call, a Plexus YouTube video. So many. For those of you who don't know, on Pink Freedom, there is a document called Plexus Peeps to follow has all different types of people, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, who are good at something, whether it be product gurus or social media, but people to follow on Facebook and also YouTube channels to watch. So that's a great resource for you all too. I definitely spent most of my career in the beginning of Plexus just really diving into those videos, finding who meshed with me. A lot of those people I started following and watching way before they were emerald, sapphires, and diamonds, but they're all diamonds now. I mean, they're all people who know what they're doing and have invested in themselves and believed in themselves to make it to the top, because that was their goal. If you have not read Get Over Your Damn Self, read it. Those of you who are in the book study, I know only a couple of us have been able to attend the meetings, but it's important that you all read that. If you do what the book says, there is no doubt in my mind that you'll be successful. The problem lies in doing it. Okay, a lot of us, and we had conversations about this in Hawaii, a lot of us, including myself, we'll do everything we can do to avoid the hard things. And the hard things are usually reaching out to new people. So we'll organize our desk, we'll follow up, we'll do personal development, we'll read books, we'll make a binder, we'll train somebody, we'll whatever, okay? But that's not moving our businesses forward. It's just not. But I think that moving forward, if we kind of can create this balance where we are putting in 100% of ourselves in the small amount of time that we have to work our business, not only are we going to be less stressed, but we're going to be more efficient and more focused, and it's going to be more fun. Okay? The last thing that I want to do is to ask somebody to join some stressed out person who can't enjoy life to join me in this business. It's just not, it's not what we're doing, right? And so this is hard for me. I am one of those people that is very type A and wants to, do well and doesn't want to fail anyone, doesn't want to say no, but you know what? We have to put our priorities straight. Ourselves, our family, God, our businesses, and there has to be time given and allotted appropriately to each of them. I'm going to finish this Zoom by reading a little bit from Get Over Your Damn Self. Some of you probably have already heard this. It's in the one of the last chapters we read. The chapter is called The Bullshit You Tell Yourself. And it's seriously so good. A lot of us need to get over some excuses because we all have them. Okay, we all have them. And this is what she says. She says, I don't want you to believe in the excuses either. We have such a short time here. At the end of our days, do we want to look back and know we were brave and audacious, or do we want to have lived a life of excuses? All these stories you're making up in your head are a complete waste of time and energy. They're just excuses. When we make excuses like this, we're really just scared we're not good enough or worthy of great success. What are your limiting beliefs about yourself? Where do they come from? Past failures? What you were told when you were growing up? What you were told yesterday by a prospect who said she thought your business was stupid? The truth is, we each have everything within ourselves to succeed. That is so true, guys. But in this business, you have to have a few other really important things, okay? Hunger, the willingness to be completely coachable and learn how to do this. Those three things that she just said, hunger, consistency, and coachability, are key, and a lot of people lack them. You have to learn to do this consistently. The willingness to be uncomfortable, right? Not fun, but you have to have it. And the resilience to keep going in the face of no's and disappointments. It's so sad how many businesses fail before they're even started, or blocked from becoming a huge success story that they can be because the excuses we tell ourselves. How many times have you told yourself you can't do something that countless other people can? Every time you put out an excuse, you place another cement block in the walls you're building around yourself. With each excuse, you're trapping yourself in a prison of mediocrity of your own creation, condemning yourself to a life you really don't want. Being in that box may feel safe, but over time, what's going to be in there with you is a whole lot of regret, what ifs, shame, and loneliness. What I've learned working with thousands of people of all different backgrounds, skill sets, and personality types is that we can conquer the negative voices and recognize the BS for what it is, just a load of crap. We can pull the cement blocks down, let the light in, and increase our possibilities. We can get out of our own way and get on with our business of building our future and stepping into our greatness. I think it's very important for us to understand that wherever we're telling ourselves is complete BS most of the time, but it comes from somewhere. Work through it, because it is going to be the block in your way, the block preventing you from reaching your goal, whatever that may be. I want to end by saying, and I did mention this on our team page, one of the things that I didn't love about Maui was that none of you were there, okay? It's so cool to see the teams together and enjoying themselves and, you know, saving seats for each other at tables. And I didn't have that, you know what I mean? I had not, and not like for me, but you know what I mean? That's something that I'm looking forward to, is like, you know, going to the luau and being like, I'm saving this table for my team, you know what I mean? For people that are, you know, here with me. And I think that that's something for us to look forward to as a team. I believe in each one of you. If you want to be a jewel in this company, you can be. I just encourage you to give up the excuses, to really dig in and to do the work that it takes, because it is work, but it is so rewarding. Does anybody have any questions specifically about anything that happened in Maui or anything really? Let me unmute y'all. Emily.
What was your, if you don't mind for a second, who was your favorite person that you got to meet or talk to?
I would say probably Amy Paul. Eric Paul, Amy wasn't in my little session. Eric was. And I had met Eric at the spring tour of a lifetime, because I had shared my testimony as a senior Ruby, and he was like, oh my gosh, you made it, like you're enrolled or whatever, obviously because I was there. And so we were talking during that thing, and he was talking about me, and I was like, oh, you know, I've actually never met your wife, but you know, she watch her trainings and stuff. So when we were at the mixer, I think, or whatever, he saw me, and they came over and we just talked, and she's just super nice and fun. They were dancing at the luau together. They had 2 of their 7 kids with them. They're twins, because they're 12 and a little more self-sufficient. And they're just normal, fun people. Beth Anderson also asked me to go to lunch, and I thought it was like with the whole team, but it was just me, and that was kind of cool, because Celeste was at the spa and came and sat with us for a little while, and it was just like you were just like sitting at everybody's level, you know what I mean? And that's something that I haven't experienced. And I think we all look up to those people, you know what I mean? Like being in sessions with Sarah Marble, who's been my idol for forever, you know, to be considered, you know, part of that is something really cool. And just, it's so intimate because, you know, there's not very many of us there. So I think that for me was pretty cool. It's just talking to people on their level. I mean, there are like seemingly like little, click is not the right word, but teams that have a strong presence, and they kind of seemed a little less permeable as far as like, you know, fitting in with them. But again, that's just what I want, you know, my people.
That was the question I had. So like you said, you know, there's all these teams and stuff. did you feel like you were welcomed? I mean, you just said right there that there were some teams that were more like, but like, did you overall feel like welcomed, you know? Or I'm just curious how that culture is like at that level, and you didn't have to be members of your own there. You just had like Beth, you know?
Yeah. So I am fortunate enough to have many sidelines that I'm friends with. So that was cool. I think that that it was welcoming and everybody was super nice. But I think it's more, again, of what I tell myself. Like, I don't fit in, or I don't, you know what I mean? Again, it's more of me and putting that on them versus them putting that on me. You know, one of the things Beth told me when we ate lunch was what she did, like one of the first years, she just got in the pool and like started talking to people. You know what I mean? This year was a little different because a lot of the diamonds were at the Four Seasons, which was right next to us, but they would come over every day. But I went to lunch with Beth at the Four Seasons, so and a lot of the other diamonds were hanging out in the pool. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you something. So one of the diamonds I met, Jennifer Poole is her name, okay? Turns out on her level 12, okay, she has like 100,000 people on her team, but she had no level ones there, okay? No level ones. She didn't like, and she told me this because she wanted me to understand what an achievement it is to be a jewel, but also to be in a place where my team is, because I think about that all the time.
So wait, is she above Jen Hawkins? I'm confused.
Yes.
Oh, so
yes.
like
Celeste Twin is her level 7.
I feel like Celeste is like the ceiling. Like,
right.
You don't hear.
So like Allison Bordeaux is like the ceiling, but their activity is very deep in their organization. So like Allison Bordeaux doesn't even get paid on Celeste Gwynn. You know what I mean? Because Celeste is so deep in her organization, and we only get paid 7 levels deep. And rightfully so, right? Because Allison Bordeaux probably had nothing to do with Celeste Gwynn joining classes. However, it was interesting because she was just telling me about how she's there, but a lot of her level ones aren't there and lost rank, things like that. And then just to see the diamonds, there's a lot of diamonds who didn't achieve the VIP event at Leaders Retreat, or the $750 in cash that I received. That's what I love about this company, is that you are really rewarded for the work close to you, right? On your first 3 levels. And my team is so wide, which is a good thing, but you know, their teams are deeper. So they might have like a runaway leg where, like, you know, anybody who has Celeste Gwynn on one of their legs, wherever, you know what I mean? There's those points, you know what I mean, that are compressing up. So I mean, it's interesting. It's also interesting to hear that there are lots of diamonds, jewels, sapphires, you know, that didn't qualify, or ones that did, that aren't working the business. Like, it's crazy.
Wait, but I'm confused. How could a sapphire or diamond not qualify?
So they don't have the points.
So they literally got to that level, but then lost all of it? Really?
Yeah. So you can be like I'm a perfect example. Okay, I did not re-rank to Emerald last month, right? So technically, I'm still Emerald. It still says Emerald Ambassador, but I didn't re-rank to that. So like,
no, but you're a new Emerald. Like, it's Sapphire Diamond. You're seeing people that are not. That's interesting to me.
Yes. So what'll happen is, a lot of times what happens if your team is not wide, meaning you're not getting enough level ones, okay? That's why it's so important to recruit level ones every single month. Ones that actually want to share with other people, because Otherwise, what could happen or the potential to happen is a takeaway leg, okay? Somebody who gets it, runs with it, and then you're diamond in points, but you don't have enough outside of your primary leg to qualify, okay? Because remember, you can't ride the coattails of anybody in this business. Another very cool thing, because you wouldn't be able to. But it's something that a lot of people don't get. Like, I mean, it's just like there's people above me who aren't emerald. You know what I mean? There's people above my sidelines that aren't emerald. So, okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. I am super excited to be back and kind of change things up a little bit. I am going to be merging my page with some other teammates so we can kind of collaborate together and make it less work for us. So that's something that is in the works. And then also, I will mail out the Maui gifts for those of you that won that. And we'll go from there. Those of you who had me write your name in the sand, I am depending on you all to come to me and lay out your goals, your plan, your daily activities, specifically my level ones, who wanted to do that. Those of you who have active sponsors, please get with them. Those of you who do not, please feel free to get with me, okay? If you do not have a sponsor that's active in this business, that's, sharing plexus or whatever, okay? But we will set up phone calls, conversations. Beth Anderson is going to start a group for Maui for next year. All of you that want to be there, you'll have to message her, and she's going to post this. You'll have to message her your goals, your what you're going to do each day, and she will allow you in that group. I encourage you to do that. That's a great resource to kind of be guided. I could make my own, but I feel like it's reinventing the wheel, so we're gonna use hers, okay? And then get this book if you haven't read it, okay? All right, guys, have a good night.
Night.
Bye.